Hello and a very warm welcome back to Fox's Weight Watcher Kitchen. I'm Johnny Fox and today's recipe, thought I'd run you through one of the UK's favourite curry dishes, but a Weight Watcher style version. I've seen so many versions of this. It does go in two stages. You're going to need a bowl, you're going to need some chicken. That's the first things you're going to need. Let's run you through the two stages. First we're going to start with the chicken. Normally what people do is marinate the chicken and they leave it in the fridge. The longest I've ever heard of is 24 hours, 48 hours in the fridge. Some people say you can do it in 2 hours. Today, I don't know about you guys, I'm not a lover of waiting. If I want to eat something and I get the taste buds for it, I will then go ahead and cook it. So let's show you how quick and easy this is done. You're going to need a bowl first. You're also going to need some yogurt. The one I'm using today is just an Onken. It's just, as you can see, a zero fat yogurt. This is the bit that makes it nice and low on the points if you're with Weight Watchers. If you're not with Weight Watchers, it means it's nice and healthy. We're not adding oils and creams. So the marinade, I've got roughly 3 chicken breasts in the marinade. So I'm going to be adding 3 spoonfuls of yogurt just to marinate it, to make it nice and tasty. The 3 chicken breasts, all I've done is just taken away some gristly bits and chopped them down into the sizes that I'm going to need. Ingredients that are going to go inside of the marinade. Remember on the previous video I showed you how to make the mixed spice blend. Today we're actually going to use that again. And all we're going to add into this is one, not quite a heat one, but a good spoonful of the mixed spice blend. Pop the lid back onto that one, and then for colour, if I get into the handy dandy spice kit, we're going to get into the paprika, and again we're going to use sort of a level teaspoonful of that. That adds a lovely bit of colour to the actual recipe and it makes the tikka go a lovely red colour. And all we're going to do is just incorporate this all together to make it a nice pink colour when it comes together, because this is going to be the format of the marinade. And then once this has gone nice and pink, as you can see it's changing colour already, we just move to one side, because something else you're going to need to add into this as well for extra flavour is the Indian classic garlic and ginger paste. Now, I've prepared some earlier on. I do a lot of cooking with garlic and ginger paste, so I want to show you a quick trick. Let's firstly put in a spoonful of garlic and ginger paste into this dish, because we're going to mix that one up. Now you can see there's quite a lot in there, and people say you can put it into a pot similar to the one we got here with the mixed spice. Keep it in the fridge if you know you're going to use it for 2 or 3 days, but you need to add salt to it or you need to add oil to it to preserve it. If you're not like that sort of person that uses a lot, get an ice cube tray, and all I do with mine, 1 spoonful at a time, and just pop them into the ice cube tray. Another one and pop it into the tray. And this is what I do with mine, garlic and ginger paste. If I need it, I just pop those in. If the recipe formats one of these spoonfuls of garlic and ginger paste, and all we do is just fill those up 1 spoonful at a time, and then you freeze that down. Once it's done, I know people say, yeah, but the ice cube tray, I use it for for making ice cubes as well. Take those out once they're frozen and put them into a Ziploc bag. Just a little tip if you're not going to be using garlic and ginger paste a lot. So let's get back to the marinade. We're just going to stir in this garlic and ginger paste. The other thing you will need to add for taste as well is a little bit of salt. I use usually about half a teaspoonful of salt just to add that little bit of extra taste in with the marinade, and just give it a good mix up. Then what we're going to do is just throw in the chicken. It's that simple. And stir this up. So all we're going to do is get the marinade to cover the chicken, because this is what it's going to do. It's going to infuse all of these flavours together. Now I have seen lots of recipes with this where they're taking half of a lemon, they're squeezing it over the top, they're adding coriander as well. There is coriander with the mixed spice, so you don't need to worry about that. The lemon is a personal taste, or lime juice as well. If you like it a bit sharper, you can add some lemon juice in as well. For me, again, like all my recipes, I take someone's recipe that I've looked at, adapt it. I have done for years and years. This is my recipe. This is the one that I particularly like, so if you want to add more things in, you can do. Now we know that that is marinated. Normally what you would do is take this, put it in the fridge and leave it for about half an hour. As you know, if people that know me with cooking, not the most patient of guys when it comes to food, and I did say I'm going to show you a quick way of doing this. All you need is a sheet of tin foil. And all of this lovely chicken, we're just going to put onto the tin foil. As you can see, the dish is now done. Move to one side, we'll do the cleanup in a minute. And then we're just going to foil wrap all of this chicken and marinade together. Roll the tops over, seal the edges down, because all it's going to do is steam itself in the foil. As you can see, I'm just making a nice little package, and what I'm going to do, just to speed things up while I'm doing this video as well, keep it nice and flat, I'm going to get out my little oven, my little glass halogen wave oven. Going to pop it into there, and I normally put it in the oven for around about 20 minutes on a high heat. Snap that on. That is now starting to cook. We'll put that out of the way because now we need to go through the masala sauce. So it's a two-stage thing. Let that carry on doing its cooking. Let's get on with the masala sauce. So ingredients you're going to need: base tomatoes. You can use some fresh ones as well, which we will be chopping into this. Ingredients again, we're going to need some more yogurt. You will need some onion. You will also need some more garlic and ginger paste. We're going to need some salt again. We're going to need some cumin seed as well. We're going to need some more of the mixed spice blend, cilantro or coriander, and also some fresh chili pepper. Let's get some of this chopped up to show you very quickly how we can put this together. Now the onion's nice and chopped, let's chop up some tomatoes. And now we've got the chopped tomato as well. Coriander as well. The coriander you're going to need, or cilantro they call it. I don't use lots of this. So cilantro, all I do is turn it up with the leafy end. And again, this is to taste. However much you want to put in, you can put in. There's the chopped cilantro, really nice at the end, because this gets put into the end of the dish and not at the early part of the dish. The next thing we're going to need, remember I said before about a chili pepper? Let's pop one of those open. That one looks like a nice one. And all I do, let's take the stalk off first. Chop away with that, chop one in half. Now if you like chilies hot, leave the seed inside. If you don't like it hot, which I don't, always remove the seed, and then I just use basically the skin of the chili. And for this recipe, I don't want it too hot. I know what the flavours of these are like. I've used these time and time and time again. So all we're going to do is just slice down enough to add a little bit of flavour whilst we're cooking. Let's get a smaller dish for this one, and we're going to pop that one in the side. Now we've got all of those ingredients together, let's get this bit cleaned up and we get over onto the stove and we'll come back in a short while. Okay, so now we're on the stove. The first thing we're going to see is you've got water boiling up to start with. We're just going to add in about half a teaspoonful of salt, because what that does, it just helps blend up all the spices and all the bits and pieces very quickly. And then whilst the salt's in there, we give that a quick stir to incorporate that into the water, and we're going to add in those cumin seeds. See, normally when people cook this, what they would do is use about 2 tablespoons of oil. And because we don't want the oil, because that's no good for us, we're trying to do a healthier version, we're using water. So it will take slightly longer to get the flavours to come out of the cumin, and to obviously get the onion and garlic paste to cook at the same time. So as you can see, all we do, as we're doing this, you'll see there will be water added from time to time, and all we're looking for is to get this fragrance to come out of the cumin seeds. We just keep stirring it, but we add the salt in there obviously to help that speed the process up. Normally in oil, you would probably get that fragrance come out of the cumin seeds within about 30 seconds. That is just about coming out now. It's taken roughly about a minute, so now we can start adding the other ingredients. So we throw the onion in first. And again, we're just water frying onions. We're not doing these in any oil, because the oil is not the healthy part. You can see now the onions have absorbed all of the water immediately. So we just put that to one side and add a touch more water. At this point we can take the flame up even higher. We show you the size of the flame. It's on full power at the moment. And now that that's in there at the same time, what we want to do is also throw in the garlic and ginger paste, which we made earlier on. So a good spoonful of garlic and ginger paste. That will all come together and cook, and we're going to leave this to simmer down, adding water as we go, because like I say, in oil this would usually fry down in about 5 minutes until they go like a golden colour on the onions. We're just going to stir this together until that simmers down. So let's leave that for a while and we'll come back to that in just a minute. Okay, so we've had a lid on that for 2 to 3 minutes to help that speed up a little bit. The onions are starting to reduce down a little bit. Remember earlier on we chopped up some chilies. We're just going to chuck in that half of chili for an extra bit of taste. Put that in with the water as well. As you can see, the water, it does reduce down quite quick. There's not really much in there. So as we're cooking, it's not an oil-based one. We just keep adding little bits more water, because what we don't want it to do at this point, while it's all reducing down, is to dry out too much. So now that's all incorporated again together. The chilies are coming in. You can just about smell the chili flavour coming out. The garlic and ginger paste, the flavours coming out of that as well. Let's get the lid back on there and we'll come back to this in about 5 minutes time. Okay, so we're 5 minutes later. In fact, I've timed it this time. It's taken about 7 minutes to get these to reduce right down. Normally what I'll be doing as I'm cooking this would be to chop up the onions and the tomatoes. So I've never really timed it before. It's actually taken 7 minutes to reduce down, and about another half a mug of water in the process. Now, as you can see, that's almost drying out. Time to add in the spices. The mixed spice blend again. We're going to use 1 teaspoonful of mixed spice blend, and then the paprika that we did earlier on, 1 teaspoonful of paprika, and all we're going to do is mix that in. It will look a little bit pasty for a while, but what we want to do is let the pan, which is hotter than the water itself, we want this to cook as if it's in oil, but it's not in oil. So we're going to let it catch the pan a little bit. And normally in oil, if you're cooking with oil, this you would normally fry off for about 30 seconds in oil. But this will probably take slightly longer, because we just want it to, as you can see, it's starting to catch the pan. That will actually be cooking these spices through. So we just keep stirring this. This is very important, this bit. This is the bit out of all of the ingredients that we're doing. This is the bit we don't want to burn the spices, so we're watching to make sure it's not getting too pasty and not catching too much. As you can see, it's almost coming to one big lump, and it's starting to catch the pan a little bit at the bottom. So all we're going to do now is add a little bit of water to that. It's probably taken about 45 seconds. Once the water's in there, it tends to turn into like a thick gravy. Then you know those spices are cooked through. But we will be cooking this on a bit longer once the other ingredients are in as well. So a bit more water for this. Always take it straight from a boiling kettle, because it helps to get the temperature up. And now that's together. The fresh tomatoes that we chopped earlier on, we can put those in as well. Nice fresh tomatoes. And what we're going to do is put the lid on this now and reduce this down. In fact, we might even add at this point a bit more water. Looks just a little bit on the low side. So just going to top that up so they're basically just covering the tomatoes. Smells absolutely delicious. I can't wait to eat this. And again, we're not adding more salt because we did that to start with. We're just going to put the lid on that for a while and leave that to simmer for about a further 5 minutes. Okay, so that's been on the stove now for 5 minutes with the fresh tomatoes. We just take the lid off and have another look. We've given it a stir 2 or 3 times along the way. You can see the tomatoes. All we're attempting to do at this point is just break all of these chunky bits of tomato down. But now the masala sauce is done with the fresh tomatoes, all we're going to do now is add in the rest of the tomatoes from a tin. Like I say, the fresh tomatoes is just there to enhance the flavour and give it a richer tomatoey taste. So now the other tomatoes are in, we'll just give this a good stir, and all we're going to do is leave this on a nice low heat, turn the gas all the way down, Nice low heat, put the lid on, and we're going to leave this to simmer for about 20 minutes to get all those flavours to infuse together. So while that's simmering away, let's get back to the chicken and see how we're getting on with that. Okay, so now on the cooker, the masala sauce is simmering down. We're going to leave that to run for about 20 minutes to let all the flavours infuse in now. We're back to the chicken. I've taken it out of the halogen wave oven. Again, yours could have been cooked in a standard oven. We're just going to open up the foil and get into the chicken itself. God, that looks... Oh, this is the bit I love now. And because we're not using a traditional Indian oven, I mean, this traditionally is like cooked in a tandoor oven, which we don't have. We're at a disadvantage, so we have to improvise anyway, because a tandoor oven usually cooks at about 800 degrees. We've cooked it into the halogen oven to try and speed things up, just so you can see all the juices in this. This is going to incorporate all those flavours quicker than marinating overnight as well. And traditionally as well, if you wanted to have like a tikka kebab, what they would normally do is get these bits of chicken, put one on the skewer, a slice of green pepper, then some onion, and then they put that onto the grill pan. Same sort of process as this, and then you end up with your kebab, slice it all off, put it in your pita bread. That's the bit that I really like as well. But what we're going to do now, we're going to carry on to get the charcoal flavour. That's a bit warm, it made me jump then. The charcoal flavour we need, because we haven't got a tandoor oven, we're just going to take some of these chicken breasts out and very quickly put them into the George Foreman fryer, because what we want to do, if you try and cook this chicken as it is into the masala sauce, you will find it tastes quite pasty. I think that's the expression my wife used. In other words, you can taste the powders, the blend of the garlic and ginger. So all we're going to do is just brown this off. I cheat with mine. I just throw mine into the George Foreman grill, leave it for about a minute, and what it does, it gives you that lovely blackening taste, takes away that pasty flavour that you don't want to do. You can see all just the smell of it, it drives me crazy. When I get to this point, I just want to eat. And all this juice as well, you can, if you want to, rather than waste the juice in the foil, this is the bit I really love, put the juice into the masala sauce as well, because that again will enhance the flavours. I'll show you when we go back to the cooker in a minute. I'll pour some of this into the masala sauce as well, because it just enhances the flavours. Let's just have a quick look, because we don't want to overburn this. We just want to get it to brown off. It's nearly there. Usually takes roughly a minute to just get the charcoal effect. You know when you go to one of these fancy restaurants and you get the charcoal grill lines? That's all we're after doing on that. And all it's doing is burning the spices into the chicken. It enhances the flavour, because without that, like I say, you do get that awful pasty taste. And that's not what we're after. We're after getting a really, really nice taste. Just going to have another quick look to see how we're getting on in there. It's almost there. You can see it starting to brown off now. About another 15-20 seconds and we're ready to go for that one. I'm going to move some more of these other chicken pieces to one side. I'm not going to waste this sauce, because that is going to go into my masala sauce in a minute. Just break these away first, because as you can see, and traditionally as well, if you're going to do this, I say for quantity wise, to work out the ratio, it's usually 1 chicken breast per person. What I'm doing today, I'm obviously using 3 breasts. It's going to be a bit more, but I will probably use some of this another day, keep it in the masala sauce, take one of those little takeaway containers, freeze it down, and then if I want a masala dinner, that's going to be really nice. That is sizzling up nicely. You can see it's blackening off nicely. That is ready to go. So we take those off the pan. We just do exactly the same with the other piece. It dries it slightly as well, but this is the bit that is really nice, because now this is all cooked and it's all brown. We know that all of those spices are infused. It looks and tastes absolutely delicious. I mean, this smell is driving me crazy, but this is the bit that I love. Right, there's no one looking. This is the bit that I love. Every good cook has to taste their own food, and that I can't wait to cook the rest of this, because this is absolutely delicious. And this is just the chicken tikka. Another reason I make more than I should do for the tikka, before I put it all into the masala sauce, if you do more chicken breasts, once you've sliced all these down into small little cubes, that sort of size, put it into the masala sauce. That's nice on its own, having it as your curry. But the other thing as well, you can cut this down finer into small pieces, which I'm going to do now to show you. Little slithers like this, you've probably seen it in your local shops, getting your little chicken tikka slices. It goes into a pita bread, into a naan bread, into a sandwich with a bit of salad. It's food on the go. Keep some in the fridge. If you're going to do a batch of this, do more chicken than necessary, because it is really quick and easy to do. As you can see that, I put it in the halogen wave oven. It's on maximum heat. I think I forgot to mention the temperature earlier on. I turned that up to maximum, same as your oven, because it's not a tandoor oven. Turn it up to the maximum heat and just leave it to simmer in the foil wrap for about 20 minutes. That's all you need to get this, and then we just grill it off afterwards to get the browning. So this is still naughty, I know, but that's what I call chicken on the go, and that is just so lovely and moist. Just going to have a look at the rest of this chicken now. Almost there. Once that's done, we're going to slice these down and get this ready to go into the sauce. So let's start slicing this down to the right size. And that's the best part. So when you get these lovely brown bits, it can stay in there for longer if necessary. And again, if you don't have a George Foreman grill, you can just put it under your own grill pan. Nice small pieces of chicken, because this is what tikka is. When you go into descriptions on Google and other places and read on Wikipedia, all these fancy places you can get information from, all tikka means is just small pieces of chicken. And as you can see, really naughty, which I absolutely love doing this dinner, because when there's no one around, and that is absolutely perfect. So we'll take those out, we'll give these a chop. Once they're all chopped up, we'll get back to the masala sauce and we'll carry on over there. See you in a while. So this has been on the stove now for the last 15 minutes. As you can see, it's reduced down. The chicken is all chopped up. The juice that we've just got from the chicken, I'm just going to add this in there now. This lovely juice will add a lovely taste as well. Doesn't matter if yours come out too dry, if you didn't seal it down enough. It's not the end of the earth. It's just, for me, a little bit of extra flavour. And because this is now nice and moist again, I'm going to leave the lid off of that and cook that down for a further 5 minutes. And then the final ingredient, all we're going to do is add some yoghurt, because what they would normally add at this point, at the end, once this is all reduced down, it'll probably add about 4 ounces of cream. Again, this is a weight loss chicken tikka masala dish, so we will be adding yoghurt, 0% fat, in about 5 minutes time. So that's been cooking on the stove now for a further 5 minutes. Time to add the final ingredient, which is the yoghurt. You can be really careful. You can say, well, okay, I want 1 spoonful or 2 spoonfuls. As you can see, there's roughly half of a pot. With this, it doesn't really matter how much you put in. It's not cream. You know, for this recipe, I say whatever I've got left in the pot, I'll just throw it all in and then give that a little bit of a stir, because this is the bit, as you can see, this is what changes the colour into that beautiful masala sauce. Some people say at this point you're supposed to puree it down and have it more of a sauce rather than the chunky one. Again, it's all about personal preference. If you like yours chunky, then keep it chunky. If you don't want it chunky, then don't have it chunky. I'm just going to quickly grab the chicken, because now that's almost ready. I want this chicken to cook in there just for about 5 minutes. That's all, just to incorporate all of the yogurt instead of cream. And the beautiful thing about this whole dinner, if you are with Weight Watchers, let me just tell you something now. If you're with Slimming World, it doesn't matter which one you are with, this is a healthy dish. Weight Watchers, every single thing in this pot at the moment is a 0-point dinner. We've used no oil, no fat, no butter. The yogurt instead of cream. Everything else is 0-pointed. You can check your books. If I'm wrong, then please do leave comments below, but I think you'll find, having studied it since June of last year, it's going to be pretty accurate. It's a 0-point dinner. We're just going to leave that for 5 minutes to simmer down in the sauces. I'm going to turn the gas up just a bit. And then the other things that I'll be adding with this dinner as well while that's simmering down, I'm going to keep the lid on to keep the moisture in as well. The other bits that I'll be putting on the side dish for this, these videos will follow in conjunction with this one. 3 side dishes are going to go on this as well. We're going to do a lentil dal, sagaloo on the side and some garlic mushrooms as well. It's going to be a feast of a dinner for little amount of weight. So it's been on the stove now with the chicken in there and the yogurt for about 5 minutes, just to reduce it down slightly. As you can see, looks absolutely delicious. Final ingredients we're going to put in: the chopped up coriander we did earlier on. This is just a finishing touch, and it is optional. For those of you that do not like coriander, you don't have to put it in. For me, it's an all-time must. It just enhances the flavour of the tikka masala dish. Now that's all stirred in, all we're going to do is take it off of the gas. Gas can go off. It's all stirred in, and that is now ready to serve. Keep the lid on and we'll start the side dishes. And now, as you can see, this is the whole dinner complete. We started off the first recipe with a chicken tikka masala. We've done side dishes of garlic mushrooms, sagaloo, lentil dal on the side. The whole dinner, as you can see this, tikka masala, lentil dal, sagaloo and garlic mushrooms. The whole dinner, if you're on Weight Watchers and you're working out the points, it's only 4 smart points. For those of you that are not with Weight Watchers, it means it's a super healthy dinner. No fat went into the tikka masala whatsoever. Into the lentil dal, we added just 2 points worth of vegetable oil, but the amount that I've made, I've now divided this down into 8 portions, so accordingly the points have to be divided as well. Same as with the garlic mushrooms. This is 50% of the garlic mushrooms, so we're going to add 1 point for the garlic mushroom side. Sagaloo, we added the oil into that, and with the potatoes, we know boiled potatoes, every 100 grams of potatoes is worth 2 points. On here I've got just over 100 grams, which will accommodate for the extra weight of the onion and the sagaloo. As you can see, not going to go hungry on this. And so you don't have to cook this every single day. If we just put this to one side, you can see I use these little takeaway containers. So when you've got the rest of your dinner, the last of the sagaloo, all you've got to do is get your gram scales, weigh them, put those into the pots. If there's 2 of you, put it into the pot and weigh it. Once it's all done, put your lid onto the top of that, freeze it down, and you don't have to make your side dish. You can do the same with the garlic mushroom, you can do the lentil dal on the side, even tikka masala, whatever dinners you're doing. If you get some of these containers, freeze it down, you won't have to cook your side dishes or mains again. Whole dinner, like I say, for this lot is only worth 4 points. It's been a pleasure cooking this for you. Hopefully you're going to try the recipe. Once you've tried it, leave some comments in the comments below as well. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you won't miss further recipes, and as you can see, even though I'm losing weight, I'm not going hungry. Thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll catch you on the next video. Bye.